everyone, welcome to Beauty First in 10. Today's going to be a beauty video and we're going to be doing a foundation roundup showing some of the new product launches that have come out in the last couple months and my thoughts on them. I do have dry skin and I do live in a hot climate, so just kind of keep that in mind. That tempers how wear time will work for me and how it looks on my skin. But I'll give you a better sense of the best way to apply this, who I think it's best for, and any other tips and tricks that I have about these different products. So we're going to start off with the newest product launch, which is WYN Beauty, which is created by the tennis player Serena Williams. And she has a whole product line, but I tried the foundation, which is Featuring You Hydrating Skin Tint with SPF 30. And I know not everybody likes SPF in their foundation, but sometimes I'm busy and I can't pack all of my skincare into one little tiny section while I'm getting ready for work. So I don't mind the SPF in it. I would also say this gives light coverage, but it just looked really pretty. It's kind of a soft matte color. And anytime throughout the day that I caught myself in the mirror, I really liked the way this product looked on my skin. And I would also say that it applied best with a brush. When I used a sponge, I felt like the application was a little patchy, and I would also say I got some shine and also some product breakup, especially on the tip of my nose and then most of my chin by about the 8-hour mark. I did find that if I touched it up, it looked fine again, and then I would get several more hours. I did find that I got better wear time with a finishing powder than without, and that also helped to kind of minimize that breakup that we got on the skin. One of the most important things to know about this product though is shade selection. This one can be really tricky, and I think you're going to need to go 1 to 2 shades darker than you would normally pick for yourself. I started out with kind of a normal description for what I would normally buy, and it was white on my skin. It wasn't light, it was literally like I put white paint on my skin. So I returned that and I got the next size up, which was Realize, and it was a better match, but it's still pretty light, and I probably could go up 1 more shade, but I don't want to risk it. And so I've just been adding some of my bronzing drops to this to kind of get the better shade. So if you can go into a store and try this on, it might be better. They do sell this at Ulta right now, so definitely try to stop by and do some swatches. But overall, I thought this was a really good product. I think it's a nice launch. I really like the soft matte kind of feel to the product, and it just felt like it looked really good on skin. I think it's going to look good on dry skin because that's what I have, and normal skin. Oily skin might find that they're going to get some shine earlier than what I did, and they might not enjoy the hydrating part of the skin tint. So oily skin, definitely test this out. Maybe get a sample and see if this will work for you. And it does have one problematic ingredient, which is phenylpropanol, and it's kind of in the middle of the pack, and that's a fragrance that is a little bit sensitizing. So that's just important to know. But this is cruelty-free and vegan, which are great qualities. So overall, I would recommend this foundation, and I'm happy with my purchase. Up, let's discuss the Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Balm Serum Boosted Skin Tint. I have tried this in every conceivable way possible to get this to work. So let me tell you what I learned. First up, the formulation. This has hyaluronic acid, peptides, and fatty acids, so this is actually good for your skin. And it's cruelty-free and comes as this little balm type product that you swipe directly onto the skin. This has no silicones, so all of your silicone-based primers will not work with this product, which is 90% of the primers that are on the market. But I did have some success with water-based primers, specifically the Milk Makeup Cloud Glow Primer, which is what I put on all over my face today. And I did have a little trouble with the shade. There are very few cool tone options as an undertone for this product. I originally started out with shade 2 and then actually had to go into the store and swipe a bunch of these products on my face to ultimately settle on shade 5, but it matched my neck and my skin, and so that's what I went with. I was very excited to try this product. I thought it was going to be so great, so it fell a little flat for me. First off, it does highlight pores, especially around the T-zone. So I think if you have texture and pores, this is going to be a tough product for you to like. I also found the more skincare I wore with this product, the more likely this product was to break up over the course of the day, specifically with moisturizer. Really, if I applied moisturizer, the deal was done and it was going to break up and be very patchy. So that's something to keep in mind, because if you have dry skin like I do, you really do need your skincare to make most foundations look good. And this was kind of the reverse. But regardless of that, I got shine in a T-zone by midday, whether I wore skincare or not. The other important thing to know is this has very light coverage. So this is going to be best for somebody with minimal texture, minimal pores that wants to swipe this directly onto the skin and then just go. The best way to apply this is by actually swiping it directly onto the skin and then using a brush to stipple the product out and to kind of push it into the pores a little bit more to make them less highlighted. I also found this product looked best when I applied it direct and then used concealer to kind of spot conceal because it is such light coverage. And I used the Urban Decay Quickie one for my concealer today. Okay, the other way I found it to work was to apply it under regular foundation to get some additional coverage to that foundation. And for that, I used the Polite Society More Than a Pretty Face foundation on this side. You can also, I found, use it for touch-ups, but as my sole foundation and without anything else, it really just was too light a coverage, and especially when it was highlighting things I didn't want to highlight. So I think this would really need to be reformulated to be able to be used by all skin. This is Youthforia's Date Night Skin Tint Serum Foundation, and I have this in the shade 230, which is a light neutral with cool undertones. It is also what I have on today, and this comes in 25 shades, and it's $48 for 1.18 ounces. It's available at Ulta and Credo Beauty. It is vegan and cruelty-free. Now, I almost didn't try this foundation because of the word date night. To me, that just seemed like something that was made for teenagers. I don't know, the word date night just was very off-putting to me, and so I didn't try this for a while, despite it having really good reviews. I am glad I did though. This has 40 good for you skin ingredients, including things like hyaluronic acid, which is good for hydration, coffee extract, which is good for anti-aging. Now, it does have one known irritant, which is Szechuan peppers, but it is very far down the list, and I think it'll probably be okay. You don't necessarily need to wear a primer, I found with this one, and it is silicone-free, fragrance-free. It has no alcohol and no other harmful ingredients. So now, also for this, I found that it worked well, both applied with a brush and also with a sponge, and it worked really well with all my powder and liquid products. I found it gave light medium coverage that did not accentuate pores or texture, and I would say that this is a product that's good for all ages. Now, they do kind of unusually advertise that this can be slept in, to the fact that they even did a 28-day study where participants wore this every single night for 28 nights to see how their skin was. It's an unusual study, but basically it was found to be kind of good for you and people enjoyed sleeping in it, but I would still recommend taking this off at the end of the night. So my rating for this one is actually in the good to amazing category, because my only question mark would be if oily skin would also enjoy this. I do enjoy wearing this with powder, and I do think it lasts all day when I do that, and it also actually lasts all day even if I don't use powder. I just think it looks nicer at the end of the day when I've used powder, but I do wonder if oily skin might get too oily with this and not enjoy the dewy properties of this. So that's why I would put it kind of in that in-between category, but I really think most people are going to be good with this no matter skin type or age. So I highly recommend you check this one out. Don't let the date night part put you off like it did with me. I think most people will really enjoy this foundation, and this might become your new go-to. This is CoverGirl's Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence, and I have this in shade 30, which is light medium, and 1 ounce retails between $16 and $21.50. Now, I did originally get shade 20, but it was way too light, so I had to switch it up. So just keep that in mind. You may need to go just a tad bit darker than you normally do in your foundations to make this work for you. This is great though. It's a makeup skincare hybrid, it's vegan and cruelty-free, and it has a lot of good for you ingredients, including patchouli, which is a natural retinol. It has tranexamic acid to fade dark spots, and it has lots of anti-agers and also hydrating ingredients. But even more so, it doesn't have any harmful ingredients in it, and it also has no fragrance and no alcohol. So this comes as a micro droplet capsule that has pigment in it. So you can see it in the picture up here. So you kind of have to burst the capsule for it to start working. So I would put it on the back of my hand, put the pump, and then work it with a brush, get it all in the bristles, and then apply it to my skin. But this product was great. It had light medium coverage, it evened my skin tone, it did not highlight texture or fine lines, and it gave a nice subtle glow that also diffused my pores. I will also say that this product lasts. So even when I didn't use powder, a setting spray, or a primer, and I just put this directly on my skin, it still lasted a really long time. I also will say though that it did work really well with my liquid and my powder, blushes, and bronzer. So it wasn't an issue with formulation at all. And this product, I'm going to go ahead and rate as amazing. I highly recommend you to get it, and I will be repurchasing this when I run out. Okay, so next up I have a drugstore option. So I have this one, which is Physicians Formula's Mineral Wear Diamond Perfector BB Cream. And I have this in the shade light medium. So this is supposed to be a light coverage product that is also a 10-in-1, meaning it does 10 different functions that you would use for other products. So it moisturizes and it is skin perfector, even skin tone, you name it, this product does it. So I had really high hopes for this product. I thought, wow, this is going to be so great. And I thought at the very least, I might be able to use this like I would use a light moisturizer. It just doesn't ever blend really well. And on one of my cheeks, there's actually some specks of this product that never blended out at all. Some areas got coverage, some others didn't. And this highlights pores like crazy. I found on the days that I used this, my skin looked a little bit more irritated, which was a little interesting because it is cruelty-free and fragrance-free. And I checked all the ingredients on the list and there's nothing bad. They're all in the good to best category as far as ingredients, but this one just didn't work. I rated poor because I just don't think that there's anybody that would really enjoy this product. And I can't think of someone, whether it's oily skin or dry skin or climate, where this would actually be a good product for you, because it just isn't a good product. So the only thing I can recommend about this one is not to get this. So that's it for this edition of the Foundation Roundup. Although I am already testing new foundations to put in a new foundation roundup, I try to wear these foundations for a week or two to really get a good feel for them so I can really share my thoughts on those. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified when that video comes out as well. Until then, happy shopping.